Joining us with insights from his recent trip to the Syrian front lines is CBN News contributing correspondent Chuck Holten. Chuck, President Trump now says 100% he's going to keep troops in Syria, U.S. troops there. What does that mean?
Well, I think that means that we are supporting the Kurds, the Syrian Democratic Forces, which are primarily made up of the Kurds, in giving them space to establish a safe area for them in eastern Syria. So the Kurds right now control everything to the east of the Euphrates River for the most part. And they have been looking for that. One of the reasons they've been fighting so hard against ISIS, they've been so committed in this fight, is because they see this as their opportunity to establish, if not their own country, at least a safe haven for the Kurds. And so they're very dedicated to that. And leaving U.S. troops there is going to be a calming influence in the region, because you've got a lot of players there that are at odds with each other. You've got the Russians, you've got the Iranians, you've got Hezbollah, a very large presence on the eastern side of the Euphrates. You've got, of course, the Syrian Democratic Forces. You've got the United States, and you've got Turkey. Now, if the U.S. leaves, Turkey, Bashar Al-Assad's forces, the Russians, the IGRC, they all go back against the SDF, the Kurds. And that's bad for stability in the region, without a doubt. One of the things I think that President Trump got wrong is that he was on a phone call with Erdogan, who is ostensibly our ally, but he's not an ally. Everybody says Erdogan is ISIS. Erdogan has supported ISIS in the past. He's definitely straight up Muslim Brotherhood.
He allowed them to go back and forth over the border there.
Yes, right. And they have found, the SDF forces are telling us, they have found stacks of Turkish passports in ISIS safe houses that they've taken over. So Turkey is not our friend in this battle.
No, he wanted to use ISIS to get at Assad, right?
That's right.
Overthrow Assad.
Right. And so the U.S. staying there means that it's a diluting influence on all those power struggles, and it'll keep the fire down enough to let hopefully the Syrian Democratic Forces create a safe haven.
So what did they tell you about it? Were they very worried that the U.S. was going to abandon them, their friends?
Absolutely. Yes, they were absolutely. And one of the things that I heard over and over again from the Kurds is they have a saying about Americans. They say the Americans will always do the right thing once they've expended all other options. And I think that we've proven them right on that, unfortunately.
Now, you were on the front lines. Is the caliphate done now? ISIS through?
To say the caliphate, I mean, yes, ISIS was, they created a government in Syria and northern Iraq. Their caliphate was a country. They minted their own currency. I've got here an ISIS coin that they minted, and they had legal tender in there for buying and selling. That has now fallen. That country is no more. And to say ISIS is gone is another question entirely, because the idea that is ISIS is not dead. And it's spread out across the globe to 30 or 40 different countries. They're saying now that, Yemen, Nigeria, places in Africa are going to be the new hot spots for ISIS.
Well, what people don't realize is the origins of ISIS was in Iraq. It was Al-Qaeda, Iraq.
That's right.
Originally.
Yes.
So this is really like we're dealing with Al-Qaeda.
Right. And the people who, we've talked about this before, that in that area, the culture of that area, especially Muslim culture, follows a strong horse. So when ISIS was the strong horse, people signed up in droves. And that's one of the reasons they were able to take over so much area with so little time and so little resources, was because it was all Sunni area. ISIS is a Sunni organization. And they came in and said, we're the new leaders in town. And everybody said, great, sounds good to me. Now that they've been bombed into oblivion, people are going, hey, maybe the Turks are better to.
Well, do you see another ISIS or some other group like ISIS coming to power?
I think what you're going to see is there will be something under a new name that comes along that will be the new face of the global Islamic jihadist movement, and especially the Sunni Islamic jihadist movement, that then will become the new enemy we have to fight. This fight is not over. The battle against ISIS might be over, but the greater war is not.